Hey, howdy, party people. Today we have a lot to cover for Hytale. There's been a lot of news. Modders were given about a couple weeks or a month or two early access to the game to start creating mods, and a lot of those have been revealed. I'm not going to go over all of them. If you want to see some more that I might have missed, you can go onto Twitter. There's a number of accounts covering it, or you can go check out Quebec Corner's videos, which I believe have covered almost all of them, if not all of them. But, of course, you could also just see them on CurseForge when the game releases, because they did announce that CurseForge will have an official partnership with Hytale in order to bring you the mods on a platform that's easy to use. If you guys could see the sheer number of Chrome tabs involved in this video, yeah, you're gonna understand why. But we're gonna go through these at a pretty decent pace, if I can help it. There are one or two things in here that are a little bit longer. There's a lot of gameplay to go over, but we're gonna go through it. But yeah, so we're gonna go through as many of those as we possibly can today. It's not gonna be all of them, but it'll be a lot. And the mods are not the only news that we have to go through today. There's been some other official news and various bits and bobs. So why don't we go ahead and get started? You can see right here that Simon posted "Do not panic, okay panic" in response to Quebec Corner Connor sharing the graph for the Google search result popularity of Hytale. As you might be able to tell, there has been a ridiculously large spike in very recent time, to the point where it's actually been looked up even more than it was in 2018 when the trailer dropped. And that, if you're new to the scene, that might not seem like a big deal, but for those of us who have been here for this whole plateau down here, this was a huge moment. That would be one of the biggest things to ever happen to this game, and probably we have figured would always be the largest thing to ever happen to the game, because it got a ridiculous number of views. More specifically, that many views. 62 million is a lot. If you don't have a good feel for the metrics of things, 62 million is a ridiculous number. And given some of that's recent, but the vast majority of it was very sudden back when it first released. So to see that somehow the number of searches has actually exceeded what it was at when the trailer dropped means that this game is, this estimate might be accurate. This is probably going to be a very big deal, which is super exciting, of course. I mean, we all want the game to succeed. Now, I know Simon is a little bit nervous about that, but this is really crazy to see. I didn't realize things were getting quite that dramatic, and I didn't realize it was having quite that impact already. I do that people, obviously people are talking about it a lot. It does feel like it's everywhere, but of course it's hard for me to have a feeling of whether or not that's because I'm a content creator for the game and I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing a lot of the tweets because that's what the algorithm does. I don't know if that's just because it's actually everywhere, or if it's just because it's part of my circle. But this is crazy, man. I can only imagine how Simon is feeling when he is almost desperate to make sure the game doesn't completely blow up this early. I mean, obviously he wants it to succeed. He wants it to do well. It's just that the game is in its roughest state right now, so he doesn't want it to do too well too early, Alright, let's move on to the next one here. Now, this one was actually, this was just released about an hour and a half ago as of recording this. And there have been a lot of mods revealed by modders, yes, but there have also been a number of mods revealed that have been worked on by the team in their spare time. And this is one of those mods, and I actually haven't watched this one yet, so let's give it a look. And he says that this is a side-scroller one of the members of the dev team created, so let's see. Wow, that is crazy. This perspective is kind of unbelievable. But I'm mostly interested to see how the combat has been adapted. I feel like that's a huge challenge. It looks pretty good. This is so interesting. I mean, changing like the controls for movement around, I mean, that's difficult, but actually creating basically a new combat system using the existing animations, that's pretty impressive. And the fact that they do this in their spare time, that's crazy, man. Because I know right now that Hytale dev team, they do not have an excess of spare time. But it looks good. This is a really cool idea. It really makes me want to see some Castlevania content. I know I've blabbed about it before, but you know, seeing some roguelike stuff would be really, really cool for this game. And I feel like this is a perfect kind of format for it. This is another one of the mods from the dev team where I really hope they release it in some official capacity so that we can kind of look at this as an example and use it to create more content, you know? But this is really cool. Another Hytale mod from the team, Simon says. I think this one needs to be part of the game. I swear at this point they're just pitching ideas in the form of mods. It does feel that way, doesn't it? This one is really cool. This is something I've heard a lot of people ask about. Something I personally really want. Which, so by the way, it's just nice to see the rain, you know? You know, it might not be perfect, but it's just nice to have those kinds of effects. And the fog and everything looks really nice. The sound design is pretty great. But yeah, necromancy. Raising skeletons from the dead to fight for you. And they seem pretty strong. But this is, I mean, considering the AI would have to be kind of, you know, retooled to make this happen. That's a really cool project. And also, we're seeing a Twerk camp here, which is pretty cool, right? I can't wait to get into this game and do some of this stuff for myself. But yeah, I agree with Simon. This one does need to be in the game. I would love if this was like a pretty fleshed out thing eventually. It's really cool. And again, really nice animation too. Okay, next up we have some screenshots that the Hytale account has been releasing. They've been doing one a day as part of a countdown. So I have all the ones that we've gotten so far lined up here. So it started with this one, 7 days until early access release. You guys know I love to see the dinosaurs, and this is a beautiful screenshot. This is a really nicely composed one here. This is thumbnail material. I don't know if I'll use it, but hey, you know, why not? But yeah, this looks beautiful. I love seeing the cave Rex up close. Finally, it's such a cool design, and of course you got the glowing ceratopsid back there. This is really cool. I love the dinosaurs in this game. I'll never get sick of it. I hope that people you know, add mods to, you know, continue expanding the number of dinosaurs and the mechanics surrounding them, because I think it's a really cool aspect. All right, here this one says 6 days until release. This is a some sort of a skeleton potion user, perhaps some sort of mage. I'm guessing these are poisonous because they're green, and green means poison. Or life, one or the other. I'm leaning towards poison. But really cool model. Looks like this is in Zone 4. Well, yeah, probably Zone 4. But yeah, looks really cool. Love the textures here, man. This game has such an excellent identity and art style. It's such a huge part of what makes this game special. If this game didn't have an identity like it does, you know, I don't think it would be I don't think it would get nearly as much attention as it does. That's for damn sure. And then you've got 5 days until early access release. This one, it's like somebody training for martial arts atop a mountaintop. A lot of people are pointing out he kind of looks like Jesus. I'm inclined to agree. He's got kind of that vibe. But yeah, I mean, it's just really cool to see the world gen from up here, you know. And look how wide the river is. Man, that's so cool to see. But it's variant. It's not like the whole thing is just all that same width. It changes, which is it's just really cool. You know, it's those little subtle things that really leave an impression on me. Next, we have 4 days until early access release. This one shows that kind of enchanted mushroom forest biome. There's sort of like an enchanting table type thing here with like a magic spellbook open. I do believe we see that in another mod clip later. You also see a deer, or is it an elk? It's a stag, I guess, right? Yeah, it's a stag. You see some glowing potions. Whatever this is, looks kind of like a scarab egg. I hope it isn't. It's disgusting. Very cool lantern up here. Love that. Almost looks like it's made out of bone. I suppose it might be. And then a candle. This is a really nice scene here. This is gorgeous. And also, can we talk about the foliage here? This like this moss or the vines. Love it. Absolutely love it. And we just recently found out that until recently you couldn't collect this kind of foliage and use it in your builds. But one of the devs found them, I believe the one that was working on this found that frustrating and went out of their way to change it. So now you can intentionally collect this stuff and put it in your builds, which is so cool. That's the stuff we love to see. Actual Q&A from actual devs doing stuff that's going to help the players have a better time. That's great. It's okay. Then you have 3 days until early access release with this this kind of Fire Emblem looking character atop a horse in Zone 1. The mountains look really cool here. I love how this game looks all around. You know, it's so pretty, and to see this cool character design is really nice. He's got kind of a Kingdom Hearts vibe as well. This is really cool to see. Okay, next up we have somewhat of a long little video that they released here showcasing another one of the creative tools. This one is really cool, but it is a little long, so bear with me. Okay, so this is called the Entity tool. It allows you to place various entities, props, items, and mobs into the world, and position them however you want on an XYZ axis with rotation, which I believe was free spinning. But with the like guidelines, I'm sure you can have it snap to those guidelines as well. But yeah, it's free rotating. So if you've ever played one of the Frontier games like Jurassic World Evolution, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster 2, this is exactly like that. But it's, you know, we've seen this kind of stuff where it's carefully positioned in screenshots a lot, and we've always wondered, are you able to just do that? Is that something you could just do? And yeah, it turns out you can. And what's really interesting is that recently, one of the devs, I apologize, I can't remember who off the top of my head, confirmed that this at some point is intended to be made available in adventure mode, which is really interesting. That's got to be difficult to situate logistically, because you would have to actually have the item and then place it and have it be removed from your inventory, and then it's placed in the world. But like, that's a really cool idea, isn't it? That you could decorate your base like this in your actual survival world, you know, without it being a necessarily a, you know, completely open-ended, cheaty kind of tool. I would assume you probably can't spawn like enemies, NPCs and stuff, and have them be, you know, fully formed as though you had met them in the wild. You can't get drops that way, I'm sure. But yeah, man, that's a long way off. That's an adventure mode thing anyway. But the fact that you could do this with NPCs is really cool. I do wonder, how much could you do with the NPCs in this tool? Can you have them do specific animations or behaviors? You know, how far does it go? But look at that. And it's like a knocked over stool now, you know? That's environmental storytelling right there. That's how you really... This is a much more difficult thing to do in other games like this, like Terraria or Minecraft. It's not impossible, but like, the complete open-endedness of these tools is fascinating. And it makes me so excited for all of the like animated stories we're gonna see come to life. I feel like I'm gonna spend ages in creative mode, and I'm not normally a creative mode kind of guy, you know? I don't mind it. I love building, but I'd rather build in survival. You know, I want to play a game and be creative. But this game, man, I just want to make stuff, you know? I mean, that's why I started this channel, as a creative outlet, but, you know, it's doubly so when the game itself is a creative tool and a creative platform. It's also just nice to see all these different props and whatnot. There's so many. I wonder if there's any props that you can place with the Entity tool that you can't get in the game, like that aren't configured yet. I assume there's at least some. I mean, we know there's mobs that aren't fully configured, but you can use in creative and whatnot. Put Goblin Duke in like a prison build. These potions. I love these potions. Oh, I go crazy about these. Oh my god. They're so cool. What I really want to know is, will the Entity tool allow you to add particle effects? Will there be particle generators? Because that's something I really, really like about the Frontier games, is the ability to have particle emitters. And if this game adds that, man, especially given some of the particle effects we've seen, that's pretty crazy, man. If that's the case, that's really cool to have. Start placing like some shields up on the upper beams for decoration there. Yeah, there's one problem with this build. Forgot a wall. I will say that makes me wonder, can we make blocks temporarily invisible? That'd be kind of nice to get a sense of scale between different rooms and stuff. That would be a cool feature. This also appears to be a super flat world, so that's kind of nice to see. I don't know if we've actually ever seen confirmation of something like that. And I apologize for using Minecraft terminology, but that's a super flat world, you know? Okay, just kind of positioning all these different potions, and they look so cool up there, you know? I mean, having that kind of clutter is really cool. The things people are going to do with this are going to go so far beyond the obvious use cases. I think we're going to be blown away. I really do. It's bread. That looks nice. And you can scale everything, which is, holy shit. You can scale things just however you want. Anything, you know? I mean, that's, if it's everything, I mean, that, whew, man. You could take like 100 pieces of bread and make like a bread mech out of it if you wanted. What's stopping you? Common sense, maybe, but, you know, a lack of free time. But otherwise, if you don't have those, you got a bread mech. I love that map. That's the cool thing, is that you're probably gonna be able to do this with all kinds of modded assets too. This is really like Gmod on crack in a lot of ways, in addition to just also being like a really cool survival adventure crafting game. Hytale's a crazy thing, ain't it? And I know it's been said a lot, but they were gonna cancel this. They were like, nah, can't finish it. I know there were a lot of circumstances to it, and I understand why they ended up there. I think it's really sad that happened. But, man, we really dodged a bullet, didn't we? And I mean, this is just the best outcome for the game. Is exactly how it went. Placing a barrel. So you can, there's a lot of options there. Adjust entity distance, that's really nice. So you don't necessarily have to move to change where it is relative to you, depth-wise. Attached to cursor is really cool. So you can pretty much pick stuff up, move it where you want, plop it down. That's nice for like those quick changes. Or if you're just having trouble with the wheels, if they're acting up. A lot of different types of Quebecs here. Lots and lots of Quebecs. You got elders, merchants, razor leaves, rootlings, saplings, seedlings, sproutlings. Temple Quebec is one of the ones I find particularly interesting. But you see, so they do kind of have like an idle animation. And he freezes it. So what do they do by default? Was he going to start walking around and just doing Quebec stuff? How does summoning NPCs work? This huge goblin ogre, one of many kinds of goblin. You also see the Goblin Duke there has different phases. So, I mean, I know it's not all finished or configured or anything, but that's pretty cool. I'm so excited for Adventure Mode, man, when it does eventually come around. That's going to be awesome. But we have so much to work with already. I mean, this is a monumental release. I'd be very curious to see what kind of state the game was actually in when it first got saved, before they made all the changes and got all the development done that they have in the last, you know, a couple months. How much have they gotten done? It seems like a lot. But anyway, yeah, so that's the video showing off the entity tool, which we haven't seen until now, and it looks mind-blowing. I mean, this tool alone is so cool. And on top of everything else we have, the world gen editor, the asset editor, the Blockbench plugin. I mean, it's really, really cool. These first few weeks are going to be so much fun. I wish I didn't have to work for a living, so I could just sit here at home and check out all the maps and mods and animations and everything, and see the development updates too. Yeah, it's going to be really cool when updates really start rolling for this game. It's hard to think that there's going to be more than what we've already seen. What a title, man. What a game. This is I'm so excited. I apologize. I am just absolutely gushing with excitement for this game. I am beyond thrilled that it lives. But let's move on to the next one, why don't we? Okay, here we have another one that it is a little bit long, but it's not too bad. It's about a minute long. This is a map made by the Hytale dev team, using some custom assets as well, they mentioned later on. This Hytale custom map was built by 2 team members during an internal mod jam a few years ago. They created new blocks, weather, and furniture and built this map, all in 5 days. After release, we will make these blocks, furniture, and items available for players to use in creative mode. Maybe someone will create a Cybertale adventure map or even an MMORPG server. Please note that this video does not feature our lighting fixes and other improvements we've been doing in the past few weeks. All right, let's have a look. The glowing blocks are really cool. Just the fact we have colored lighting and everything in general is huge. And this is before the lighting engine improvements that have been made. The particle effects in the air. So cool. I guess that's the custom weather they were talking about. These little, like, pollutants. It's awesome. It's a really large-scale kind of build for 5 days. I wonder what kind of tools exactly they used. I wish we could see them working on it, you know? I would love to watch that. But, I mean, look at that, man. And look how tall it is. I mean, I know the build limit is somewhat of a topic of discussion, but it's pretty good for what it is. I think it should be quite sufficient for custom builds, definitely, like from the ground up type stuff like this. But man, imagine like a Batman mod or like a Tron mod or something. You know, there's a lot you could do with this kind of build style and with the tools available. This is a really cool little project. That's exciting to know that a couple people could whip that up in 5 days. Imagine what people could do with months, you know? We're going to see some unbelievable stuff. We're going to see whole games get recreated in this, you know, and that's really cool. I'm super into that. I'm going to try some of that stuff out because I can't wait to see it. All right, here we have another custom build made by the dev team at some point. This one's really cool. There's a Gothic castle. So, you know, I've been yammering on about Castlevania. I mean, come on, look at it. Come on. It's just asking me to be made. I don't know if I have what it takes to make it, namely in terms of free time, but hey, if I don't, somebody better. I love this so much. This is so cool. And this is just like a little, you know, a free time project somebody made, but it looks fantastic. Imagine, you know, spending hours and hours more just, you know, adding little details, carving out more environmental storytelling, attaching gameplay to it. You know, I mean, it's incredible. How beautiful is that, you know? Here's another dev-made mod. Simon reveals, our developer Think of Name made a Hytale factory mod in his free time during the holidays, featuring inserter and factory storage. The team has made so many mods, /maps, and content during their free time. I will share more later on. This is, I mean, I know this is like the most basic level of automation modding stuff in Hytale, but look at it. Look at the custom animations and models, man. It looks so cool. Check that out. And they're actually physically picking up the item models, which is just, man. Automation mods in this game are gonna go absolutely crazy. I know a lot of people were hoping for that in the base game. I think it'd be cool to have in some form, but I don't think it's necessary. I would definitely like to see some, but you know, there's always gonna be mods for it, and they're gonna be wild. I'm telling you right now, I can promise you, they're gonna be crazy. And this is a really cool kind of first look at what that could end up looking like. Okay, so this is Simon revealing a feature here that lets you report bugs and give feedback. Okay, so we're in a little bit of like a dungeon, really cool environment. And yes, you can go into the main menu, or the pause menu anyway. You can either submit feedback or put in a bug report. And they use a little updated Scarrick design for the button, which is super cute. I love that. That's a nice touch. This game has so much heart. But yeah, this is, again, guys, remember, it's going to be really important. We are basically beta testers in a way. You don't have to submit bugs and stuff, but it'll help the game along. You know, it's a good idea. It'll do the game some good. If you see bugs or you have crashes, let the team know so that way they can improve the game, you know? That's how stuff gets fixed. And yeah, you could always say, you know, hey, if I don't do it, somebody else will. And that's, you know, yeah, that's fine. If you want to just play and enjoy the game, that's totally up to you, man. It's, you know, I don't know how often I'm going to be reporting bugs, but I'd like to. You know, depending on what kind of bug it is, at least. If it's something pretty big, I'll definitely report it. But, yeah, it's super cool now that there's actually a way built into the game to do that. Okay, now I did miss this when it was released before. This is another 5 or 6 minutes of combat footage, this time of PvP. So I thought I'd give that a bit of a quick look. So this is Simon and a couple of the devs just fighting it out with a number of different weapons. Daggers, axes, different sets too. So this is the mithril set here that I believe Simon is using. That man loves the daggers, I'm pretty sure. Look at that. Look at all the effects and everything, the sound design. Now, they have made a few changes since this even. They've added a small amount of knockback to the weapons as well. See, you lose some durability when you die. I can't wait to use the bows, man. Bow v bow gameplay is going to be so fun. I cannot wait for stuff like Bed Wars and whatnot. And just goofing off with friends, too. It's going to be so fun. Because sometimes you'll be playing one of these games with your friends, like Minecraft or whatnot, and you start killing each other. Just you get bored and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to start messing with my friend. I'm going to start killing him. And before you know it, it's all out warfare. It's like a Nerf battle, you know? It's also just, I mean, look at these trees, man. What a lovely environment. I want to build here so bad. I want the game right now, man. These last 2 days are going to last an eternity, I swear.
Holy.
If only young me could see the game in its current form now, man. But it's, you know, I thought maybe after all the years had passed that my hype for the game would die down a little.
No.
You know, that even when it did release, I'd be like, but I've waited so long. My heart's not fully in it the way it used to be. No, man, it all came flooding back over the past couple months. I'm so excited for this game. I feel like a kid again, you know?
No! Okie dokie.
That's nice, though. You got the health bars implemented as well. I think the hammer looks the weakest, in my opinion. I feel like the daggers and the axe seem really good.
Yeah, I'm using the bunny hop as
I'm not sure about the bow. That's one of those ones you really have to get a feel for personally to understand. But like sword and shield and hammer, I don't know. I'm not sure if they'll be good enough in the end. And the daggers seem to be able to break blocks really easily. Of course, again, things have changed since then. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing, you know.
Never mind.
It does look fun to use a sword, though. I feel like sword and shield is going to be good for PvE, you know? And that hammer move does look fun, don't it? Love the way the swamp looks, man. It's so cool. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, this is what it looks like by default, then you can light it up, too. You know? Can't wait to see that.
I've been probably broken for a while now.
There's so many things I want to try. I'm glad I've got half the week off, I tell you. The axe looks really fun. It looks really impactful, but I think probably pretty well balanced, you know, for starters.
Yeah, I know yours is broken, but before it was broken. The TTK is actually pretty decent right now.
But look at all the extra little effects and everything. And again, I just want to point out how nice the sound design is. I know I said it before, but it's very satisfying. And the bow. Now I'm usually a bow guy when it comes to PvP. That's kind of my forte. Is like bow, well, magic in games that allow it. And that's the thing is, man, I want to see the magic so bad. I know it's not like a whole ton of stuff. I know it's not super fleshed out, but man, I want to see it, you know. But it's kind of cool because, you know, seeing it when I'm actually playing is going to be all the more special. And this is already so much to see, and it's so cool. I just can't wait to kill my friends, you know? Friends, family, strangers. Look at that little cliffside. I assume this is in World Gen V1. I don't think they ever said, but I tell you, I'm gonna be content playing with what we've got with early access for quite a while. I know they're gonna be working really fast, but I tell you, I think we're gonna be at a really great starting point. And the fact we get to see a little bit of World Gen V2, and just the combat and the gameplay and the mechanics and the blocks and everything that we have, the furniture, all the tools, all of it looks totally sufficient already. And you add on top of that all of the mods that we're gonna get. Imagine modded PvP, you know? It's gonna be fantastic. feel like they upped the stamina regen since last we saw it. Looks not too bad here. Everybody's so mobile, which I like. I like that, you know? It's just, but it's not like the kind of mobile where it's like, oh, I can exploit this to just get out of the fight entirely. It's more like, oh, it's a duck and weave type thing, you know? It strictly serves the purpose of making the combat feel more interesting and fun. I love the look at that shield. That is so cool. That is absolutely beautiful. We can't kill Simon. Now the game's never gonna come out. Little flowers around. You do see an arrow stuck in a block there. I don't know if it already passed, but there is a moment where you see a floating arrow, which, you know, that brings me back to the old Minecraft PvP days, of course. I had a harmless bug, and it despawns almost immediately, so it's, you know, it's not a big deal. Oh, holding that block, he's dead. But hey, you know, he made a good effort to defend himself there. I assume this is kind of just at the spawn of the world, because everybody seems to be respawning right here. Can you spawn in the swamp, I wonder? Or will it always spawn you in, like, just the plains biome of the Emerald Wilds? Because I know that, we know that you spawn in Zone 1 every time, but oh, there's a gun. Which doesn't have a red outline anymore. No longer considered a modded custom item. So that's interesting. I wonder if that means that it's either been implemented into exploration mode, or if they just actually configured it into, like, you know, they didn't configure it, but they added it to the game's assets. So now everybody can use it, but it's not necessarily part of the actual exploration mode gameplay itself. But yeah, PvP looks incredible. I'm not usually a huge PvP guy, but it is fun, and maybe the reason that I wasn't a big PvP guy in, say, Minecraft is because the PvP was kind of boring. And this looks super exciting, super fun, super varied. Yeah, on top of this magic and mods, and it's gonna be nuts. I might actually play it quite a bit. Okay, here you have a mod from Wayan Mine. After hours and hours of waiting, the most awaited Hytale mod is here. Only on CurseForge, PS Simon approved this. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it's a whoopee cushion. Which, by the way, really cool prefab, just throwing it out there. Hard not to geek out every time I see one of these kinds of environments, but yeah, it's a big old whoopee cushion. You step on it, you jump, and, well, it kind of explains itself. But, what an ad. Okay, and then TR7ZW also brought us a look at this Waypoints mod, so let's have a look at that. Get another look at the map there. So cool, man. I'd build like a summer camp. Wouldn't that be fun? Landmark discovered Crystal Hollow. So there's like a swirling portal, and once you discover it, boom, go to the map and teleport to another one you've discovered. So I assume these are naturally occurring, which is a really cool idea for it. So you can't fully control where they are relative to, say, your builds or prefabs or whatnot. Silent Expanse. Okay. You can rename them. That's nice. And you could use this for servers and whatnot too, which is really cool. But man, just sitting in the game and actually playing it is gonna be so fun. Especially if you add a few of these in there. You know, personally, I'm gonna be playing vanilla at first. I'll probably install the What Am I Looking At one, which we'll look at in a little bit, and maybe one or two other little quality of life ones. But for the most part, I don't want to add a bunch of content. And I don't want to add a bunch of custom stuff. I want to get a feel for the game as it is. I'll probably have a separate world or two for looking at mods, playing with them, reviewing them, yada yada. But I'm not going to be having my kind of forever world, if it ends up being a forever world, be heavily modded. At least not at first. I might later on, but for now I just want to experience Hytale as the devs intended. So don't expect me to be playing with like a 70 mod pack right out the gate. I gotta let the game stand on its own first a little bit. But this mod looks really cool. I'm curious to see how it works in game personally and kind of get a feel for it. If I do end up playing with it, which I might. It's a nice simple mod. So, but really cool visual effect too with the portal. Love to see it. Okay, next you have the first of the mods by a user by the name of NoCube. Okay, sorry, I just turned the volume down a little. Let's see here. So you got some trees that actually grow fruit that you can pick, and look how they actually like fall out of the tree sometimes. That's so cool, man. You could build anything in this. You know, it's got like a nice ranch vibe here. Got a wagon. That looks like another kind of crafting table. Got a bed. Got some fruit on the table. And this is a fruit press to make like juice. You know. Takes a little bit of time, but hey, cool. You can do stuff like that with the UI without having to put in a crap ton of work. Doing that for mods is pretty huge. So here I've got some juice. How tasty. And you get a little buff. Ain't that nice? So, pretty straightforward mod, but really cool to have. I know there's going to be a lot of farming content for sure. But it looks really nice. And yeah, I like this little build that he set up for it. It's really quite quaint. Okay, next you have a mod by Black Orez or Black Ores. I'm not entirely certain. Now this adds a different variants of horses into the game. So by default, I think there's only one kind of horse, or well, they show there's only a couple kinds of horses. Pretty basic, but with this mod, you get a nice little handful of different horse looks. Different little variances, different sizes, different colors, different manes, different eyes. It's a really cool little mod. And, I gotta say, out of all the mods I've seen, this is the one that I've heard the most people say, yeah, I'm definitely playing with that on day one. Because it's a totally harmless ad. Even I might add it. I think it's a really cool thing to throw in there. I would not be surprised at all if the devs decide to take inspiration from this and add a few more versions of horses sometime in the next month or two. Obviously not their #1 priority, perhaps, but would definitely be a nice ad. So I might actually use this mod myself. Also, just gonna throw it out there. There's something called a hatworm in the entity list. What the hell is a hatworm? And do I want to know? Okay, next we have Neon Blocks, and there's another no cube mod. It's a pretty simple mod, but man, I might have to download this one. I don't know if these are going to be obtainable in survival as the mod currently stands, but man, it looks good. Just having color lighting in the game and then just having a simple way to actually use it and implement it into builds is like the most exciting thing about building in this game for me right now. Yes, vertical slabs are cool. Yes, roof blocks are cool. Yada yada. The furniture, the entity tool, all fantastic. But colored lighting and a way to use it, and a man can eat for a lifetime. Cause look at that, man. It's so cool to have. I want to make a roller coaster. I want to make a dark ride in this game. There's so many things that come to mind with this. Super freaking cool. I know it's just one screenshot of a pretty rudimentary mod, but it is honestly one of the coolest things I've seen come out of the recent mod reveals. Okay, and then next up we have another no-cube mod, Bakehouse. Adds bread baking, new pastries, and different tools such as a rolling pin to the game. This is just a nice cooking-centric type deal. See here, that's like a pizza oven kind of deal, and then one of those big boards they used to pick them up. I'm not a chef. I'm the furthest thing you could get from a chef, but that's a pretty cool mod to have. I get the feeling that No Cube's mods are all going to work pretty well together from what we've seen so far. Next up, you have another kind of cooking-themed mod by No Cube. This one's called Culinary. This mod adds new dishes to diversify your diet and gives some useful buffs for eating them. Again, a nice, straightforward thing to add to the game. I would not be surprised if a ton of people use this for their first main playthrough. Then you have Tavern by No Cube. This is, I think, the last of the No Cube mods I have on here. I don't know if there's others. So this one is centered around adding tavern-type content. Looks really cool. You got some barrels with taps. You've got a whatever this is here. It's like food that worms might have gotten into. I'm gonna assume it's lettuce for now. And then you've got a big cauldron of some drink brewing over here. That's really nice. And you got like a tankard of ale, as it were. And I don't know if the shelf's in the game by default, but that's a nice little shelf. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting little ad. Oh, those are grapes. So that's the grape stomping bin. And then there's some more grapes. Those for making wine, I suppose. For fermenting drinks. That makes sense. That's pretty cool. That's actually a really cool ad. That's a little tempting. That I feel like that adds to the atmosphere of the game. Nope, I got another No Cube mod for you here. So this one is called Undead Warriors. So this adds basically just another variant of undead enemy to the game. Which is pretty cool. They got some similar animations to the skeletons and whatnot, but a you know, just a different model. Really cool to see. Nice little bit of a just variety. I'm sure people will find a lot of uses for these, you know, pretty much right away. And of course, a cameo from perhaps my favorite mob in all of Hytale. A little mouse. Just a nice little mouse there for you. Okay, then we've got a mod called Resource Bags by No Cube. This guy is on fire. So this mod adds little bags that can collect various resources for you. Basically, just to make inventory management easier. You see a lot of mods like this in Minecraft, notably. But yeah, look at this. You can you got like, you know, ores or ingots. You got potions, food, dirt blocks, you know, all kinds of stuff. So this is a really nice little thing to have early on. And of course, it's actually implemented into survival with crafting recipes and whatnot. Super cool. Huge fan. Okay, next up you have Joshy App's Restored Ruins mod. So this mod, from what I understand, adds a couple of dungeons to the game. So this is just one of them so far in this video, but you know, I'm really excited to see prefabs and stuff. It's an incredible build. This is a nuts build for what I assume was a fairly short amount of time for them to have, but super cool so far. Can't wait to see what the other dungeons look like. It's probably a really good add to your world if you're into dungeon crawling. Which I think I am a big fan. But, again, mostly vanilla for me. But it's tempting. Next up, we got 30 Virus with a pretty big deal mod here. He says, I was invited by the Hytale team in CurseForge to make some mods and give my feedback. TLDR, having a great time. Some of you might recognize this build I imported with one of my mods. More info coming soon. Let's have a look. This one got quite a lot of attention. It's a pretty noteworthy one, I would say. So it might look a little familiar to some of you if you've played Hypixel before. Might be clicking for more of you now. Look at that, man. It's Bed Wars. Personally, my favorite Hypixel minigame. If I had to pick. But, yeah. No, this is Bed Wars. Way up in the sky above Orbis. Yeah, break that bed. Break that bed. Yeah. Who needs a pickaxe or an axe? Just destroy it with your fists. But yeah, Bed Wars, awesome mod to have. Definitely curious to see how this one comes out. That's super cool. Someone had to do it right away, right? And who else but 30 Virus? Okay, next up we have the Auto Hammer mod. Randomize the block placement with other variants of the same block to help with building large walls or floors with a bit of texture. This is another one from TR7ZW for you. Alright, let's have a look. So we're placing down some kind of like sandstone or something like that. Yeah, white sandstone it's called. So you can select the different ones you want to include in this. And what a neat little feature. Mention how fast that'll make some builds. It's a really cool idea. I wonder if this applies to just manual block placement, or if you could use this with some of the building tools as well. So you can create like a huge floor that's pre-textured, because that's a huge pain when you're building normally in something like Minecraft, right? And this is just a really cool, nice, again, just a straightforward add, but super cool. A huge fan of this option. Okay, this is a mod by Jared. It's about a 1-minute showcase for you. This is an item magnet mod. Jared did a number of these. They're all really cool. He's got some great mods. Jared's mods are like the kind of stuff that I think I would maybe play with for my forever world. But I'm not sure yet, but I'm just saying, definitely the kind of stuff I would. Also, peep the log in the grass that has like a connected texture with it. So cool, man. This game's gonna be really cool right out the bat, I tell you. You see some lock recipes there, which is cool, but that's crafting for you. A lot of people have been talking about the crafting time. I have no opinion. I will form one when I get in the game. But, you know, it's cool to see. So, yeah, look at that item magnet. It just sucks everything up right to you. And what's really cool is, yeah, he can put it in his offhand. Still works. And the offhand in this game has kind of a wheel you can cycle through. So shields, torches, you name it. So, that's a really convenient way to do it. Man, this forest is so detailed. I can't get over it. And, like, the shadows from the trees... Dude, I tell you, a Zelda map. That's gonna go crazy, ain't it? And look at all those logs coming down. I do wonder if there's a way to turn off the like tree felling feature if you don't want it. Because I also wonder, like, how does it know what's a tree and what's your house? What if I make my house out of logs and leaves? Sure, you know, bit of a strange way to build, but hey, if it works for the squirrels, it'll work for me. But what then? You know, how's it gonna differentiate? I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure they've thought about it. I'm just curious if there's a way to turn that off if you want to play it a bit more old school. Also, notice the fact there's tree sap. That's interesting. Do you use that for torches? I wonder. Okay, guys, this one is a huge deal. If you have played modded Minecraft really at all, you've probably heard of the Macaw furniture mods. They're not just furniture. They had a lot of other stuff for building. Very heavy on assets, but they're very detailed. Usually some custom mechanics. They're excellent, excellent mods. I absolutely love them. Them and, of course, Mr. Crayfish. Those are like the two classics, the two legends of the furniture mods in Minecraft. There's others, of course, but those are the two big ones. So to see Macaw here, pretty big deal. So he's basically, porting in the mods as they existed in Minecraft, but in a Hytale art style. So here you see a paintings mod. You can easily just cycle between them. These are really nice paintings. I love this. Macaw's mods, they go a little bit over the line into adding too much stuff for me to really consider putting them in my main save, but I might have to. So you see a door mod. Really nice. So you can do double doors just by rotating them. Imagine that. Lanterns. This is a lights mod. It's a really cool get. I mean, look at that. Look how dynamic they are. They get attached to blocks of different directions. You change the color with a hammer. That's pretty sweet, You got some street lights as well. Turn everything on and off. Of course, all this works beautifully with Hytale's lighting engine. It's all quite seamless. You have a Windows mod as well. Sorry, Macaw, I got bad news. The game already works on Windows. But hey, A for effort. But look at that. Look how dynamic they are. And the curtains actually roll side to side in both directions. That's crazy. That is like the coolest thing. You got blind, like shades too. And look at that. Look at everything they do. This is gonna take builds to a whole nother level. You got a stairs mod. See, I'm not sure we've actually seen just stairs yet. Are stairs not in the game by default? I'd be curious to learn. I got NEP, not enough poops. Of course, Macaw, famous for poop mods, as everybody knows. Kidding. Say diet poop? Frozen poop, radioactive poop, solid poop, spiky poop, stracciatella poop, and UFO poop. What's there to say? It's yeah, it is what it looks like. So again, the PvP in Hytale's gonna go crazy. That's all I'll say. This brings me back to the old days of 7 Days to Die with the poop and that. Those were the days. All 7 of them. Waiting for those UFO poops to return to Earth. Be interesting if they burned up on re-entry, Wait for it. There they go. Absolutely putrid. Very funny. Next, Macaw also released a showcase of the lights mod on its own. Next, Macaw released this little showcase specifically for the lights mod of his. And it looks really nice, really beautiful, really atmospheric. Let's have a look. Look at that skybox, man. I can't get enough of it. But you got like a nicely lit path. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This is in Zone 3, of course. There's a lot of ice and snow here, But wow. And the fact that all these lights work while you're holding them as well. That's huge. That's so cool. Yeah, don't mind me just dungeon crawling with my 3-foot tall tiki torch. Copper classic lantern. All the lanterns are probably my favorite, but the number of options is really cool. For a mod that's one of many releasing after a short period of working on them, really cool. Really, really cool. Then we get a screenshot of all the doors available in Macaw's door mod. They look fantastic. Off to a great start, man. I'm curious to see if we get any more. And we see Macaw's paths, which I don't think was even in those videos here, but yeah, really cool. Macaw's paths, another classic. And it looks great. It looks awesome. I'm definitely tempted to play with these macaw mods. So you got one from Dark Hacks here. While playing Hytale, I often wondered, what are we looking at? I Spy, a port of my mod, What Are We Looking At, will be available for Hytale on CurseForge from day one. So you can see up there, there's a little tooltip showing you and describing what you're looking at. And I do believe that Dark Hacks mentioned this will work with custom content off the bat as well, which is really cool. This is one I am almost certainly going to add to my game from day one. And another one from Dark Hacks. So happy I was able to port one of my favorite mods to Hytale, Pixel Paintings, and at least 10 of my other mods will be available for Hytale on CurseForge day one. So this is some custom paintings. This mod is also available in Minecraft, but really cool paintings, and another really nice ad. This combined with the macaw one, man, you're gonna have paintings for days. This one's gonna be really exciting for a lot of you. This is a mod by Mr. Bisco called Gone Fishing, with models and art by his fiance, Shainiki. This will be available on day one as well. So it's got a fishing rod. You cast out a lure into the water, to that gorgeous Hytale water, and then it actually pulls in a real model of a fish that gets added to your inventory, and there's a little message saying what you caught. So really cool, nice little fishing system here. I hope they keep working on it. I'd be curious to see how it expands. Obviously, a lot of people are asking for fishing in the game, and there you go. There it is, you know. Modders are definitely closing the gaps that people see in the game, which is exactly part of the game's vision, so that's awesome, you know. Next, we got Skyblock by Cinderstone Studios. This is a Skyblock mod. So we got 4 screenshots here. This is very similar, of course, to Skyblock, if you've ever played it in Minecraft. This included some custom mechanics to make it work the way it does in Minecraft, like this right here. I assume is not exactly something built into Minecraft from the or into Hytale from the get-go. So it's pretty cool to see, you know? It's probably a lot of work getting this all together. And they did say this is pretty early. You know, they plan to keep working on it and developing it. But yeah, really cool. You know, you'll love to see all these different ways to play Hytale. It's only going to get crazier from here. But this is a really cool one. Next up, you have one from Buzz. Buzz has a couple of good mods here. That's BUUZ135. Where this at, search the inventories that are nearby using the inventory lectern. You can find where an item is or pull it into your inventory. This mod will be available day one on CurseForge. Alright, so you see here, this is a menu showing you all the items in your nearby storage containers. And how cool is that, you know? But you got a lot of different blocks here. You can either get that item or find that item. Really cool. So you can it can tell you which chest it's in, I assume, or show you somehow. Or it could just put it right in your inventory, which is, you know, it's nice that you got both. And this is a good example here of how it actually looks in-game. So if you press find, I'm assuming it puts these little exclamation marks on the container that contains what you pressed find on. And of course you have another cameo from our friend, the mouse. Alright, you got another one from Buzz here. Full admin UI video showcase. In this video I've added a small tweak that people asked, and Drakun mocked up for the player list. When the game releases, everyone will have these as an example to make custom UI, as some of them are very complex. Alright, so we got an admin stick there. So look at all this. You got whitelists, mutes, bans, players, warps, admin stick, server backups, and server stats. Now, server backups right from the game, say no more. That's awesome. So you can mute Simon for 3 days. It's about time. Make it a lot easier to keep up with everything when Simon isn't tweeting, right? But no, that's pretty cool. So you can do player mutes, player bans, whitelisting. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice features to have, you know? Reason? I don't know. Well, I sure hope they try to appeal that one. But look at this. You got some color code in here. Look at all these options. You could just kill someone from anywhere instantly without explanation. This is great. Admins and moderators for servers are absolutely going to love that. And you can heal them, too. You got backups, man, that is so cool. Because that's such a huge thing for servers, is managing backups. And look at this. You got live stats about your specs and everything in-game. How cool is that? You don't have to tab out to some website that barely works. That's the coolest thing ever. Alright, so this one here, someone was actually able to recreate the OP Bad Apple, which is pretty nuts. The fact you can do something like this in-game, absolutely insane. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm also a little worried about getting copyright claimed, even just from this small segment. And that's another one from TR7ZW for you. But, yeah, if people could do this, what can't they do, right? All right, this one from Kongshin or Kongshin, I'm not 100% sure, is perhaps one of my favorites so far. This is an import of something that exists elsewhere called Immersive Melodies. So I believe there were already instruments in Hytale. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know if they were playable. But this lets you take MIDI files and actually play them in-game, which is so cool. I mean, look at all those excellent titles I got right there. It's already a great library. And if you don't know, you could take any YouTube video and convert it to a MIDI file and play it. It'll sound like crap, but that's part of the fun. Or you can actually just download MIDI files elsewhere. But how cool is that? And all the instruments sound different. So you got a lot of stuff here. Just for a laugh, I'm gonna look here. You got the Whistler, Elise Polka, Inspector Gadget, Windmill, Drunken Sailor, Never Gonna Give You Up, Clog Waltz, Bad Apple, Saria's Song, Seven Nation Army, Wet Hands, that's funny, Hopser Waltzer, Halloween, Flintstones, Castle, Coolies. I assume that Castle is probably the Hytale track, if I'm not mistaken. Mario Underworld, In Alta Plafair, Row 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 Your Boat, Harry Potter, Giorno's Theme, let's go, Demolto, Mortal Kombat, and I'm not gonna try that last one. And yeah, so you can just add stuff right in, and boom, there it is. So that's a server melodies. So those are ones baked into the server, and then this is one that is personal. The fact that you could have stuff that's just set up on the server and that anybody could then play, that's so cool. What a neat social feature. This is another one I'm probably going to play with from the get-go, because it's just super fun. I just think it's extremely charming. Okay, now you got another one from Buzz. Better mod list. It's just a cute mod list with logos. This mod list will combine mods and packs and will show information about them. And again, it'll be available day one on CurseForge. All right, you see here you got the beds mod. You have better mod list, books and papers, crouch slide and mantling. Several of these are baked into the game just to kind of show you how mods work, I believe. So that's why several of them say buy Hytale. Super cool though. Again, this is probably a day one ad just because if you have any mods at all, having something like this is pretty good, until we get an official one online anyway. Next we have another one from Buzz. Advanced item info will allow you to search all the items in the game and find critical information about them. Again, day one on CurseForge. So you see here, it's kind of like a just enough items or one of those kinds of mods where you can look stuff up and then get a bunch of information. So this will have a ID icon, quality, item level, max stack, max durability, is consumable, has block, fuel quality, is tool, is weapon, is armor, is glider, is utility, is portal key, and where you can craft or create it. This is using an iron pickaxe as an example. There's a lot of information about the game you can take out of the screenshot, like the fact that there's recipes for the tools and weapons, which is honestly super exciting to me. I don't know if that's going to be something that's baked into exploration from the get-go, if it's, configured or not, but very cool. So yeah, so that's a nice mod to have, probably something you want day one. Then you have simple claims, which will allow you to claim chunks and protect them from players that are not in your party. This was the first mod Buzz started working on to dig into GUIs. This includes fully custom interfaces for party editing, fast chunk claiming, and integration with the main Hytale map. That's pretty cool. You just literally click and then select the chunks with an actual visual display of them. How sick is that? All these tools are going to make running a server of any kind or like an SMP or whatever it may be so much easier. That's a really neat thing to have, and it actually shows up on the map. How about it? Okay, Buzz was, I believe, the first person to reveal a mod in general with the original Lucky Mining mod, which was a new take on the idea of kind of the fortune enchantment from Minecraft, where instead of dropping extra copies of an ore, it would basically place another block of that ore next to the one you broke. Here he is updating us with a change he made to it where now instead of placing a block, it'll turn a nearby stone block into a stone block with ore, which is a really cool way for it to work. Probably a lot harder to accomplish, but it looks like it works great. Really neat idea. Curious how it works in-game, if it's just sort of something that's on by default for all mining, or if it's something you have to obtain. I don't know how in-depth he went with it, but it's really cool to see, and it's just a really fun concept. Okay, here we have another dev-made mod. One of our designers created this mod in our free time to prototype some ideas featuring an adorable floating pet lantern that follows the player around. Okay, let's have a look. So there's an Arcanist's Workbench. That's what that one is from earlier. Essence of Fire. Whoa. What is that about? Says you can do some magical stuff at that table. Oh, I love that door, man. But look at that. It's a little lantern, and it's like floating, and it just kind of follows you around. You see some outfit pieces from the, I believe the Cursebreaker edition and the default standard edition as well. A classic, just diagonal mine just shaft kind of setup there. It goes into a cave pretty fast, which is nice. Love to see that. You got, I assume this is in Zone 3, because you got like some ice and snow in there. Picking up some ore. It's pretty fast. It's nice. That's iron ore there from Shale Cobble. Gotta say, one mod I would love somebody to make. I want a passive rat. I don't want an evil rat, you know? As somebody that loves rats, I'd love to see just a normal, you know, cute rat. I don't get why the mouse gets to be a normal little guy and the rat has to be evil. I'm just saying, seems unfair. But look at this, it's like a little prefab, very similar to the kinds of things you would find in Terraria when you're underground. Love to see it. So the skeleton pops up, some combat. He's blocking, which is something a lot of people have been talking about. Again, the combat looks so fun. Just this little experience here looks like such a blast. But look at that lantern, just keeping the room lit while you focus on combat. I don't know what the use case for this mod would be if you could have a torch in the offhand, but again, I haven't played the game, so I wouldn't know. But there's a chest with cobalt ore, trinium ore, I think it said. Well, it wouldn't be trinium, that's from Stargate. But really cool little experience here. Love this gameplay clip. Again, very well put together. Really cool idea for a mod. And love the way the lantern looks. Very cute. If they release this, I might use this day one. Okay, and that is it for mods. I know this video is probably ridiculously long. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We have just a couple of last things for you here. One is this here. So Hytale posted, "We need your help to stress test our back-end systems and get ready for the 13th. We enabled downloads of the launcher. You could download and sign in to get ready now. Accounts.hytale.com/download. Thank you, and we look forward to having you in-game soon." I tell you guys, we look forward to being in-game soon. More than you could possibly imagine. But yeah, this is a really cool little thing for them to add, where you can just hop right into the launcher. You can't do much. There's no settings or anything, nothing like that. But you could sign in, and this way you don't have to fight with everybody else to get the launcher on day one. You just have to fight with everybody else to download the 1.5 gigabyte patch to actually download the game. They did mention if you downloaded this for Windows at first when they dropped it, go back and delete that and re-download it for the newer version. Me personally, I did have trouble, but I didn't have to delete and re-download it. I just opened it again and it updated, and now it works. I can press the sign in button and it'll give me the, "Hey, come back when the game comes out" message. So all seems to be well. This is meant to help the game have a smoother launch on Tuesday, which, you know, I hope goes well. I want to get into this game as soon as possible, especially if I end up streaming. I don't know if I will, but if I do, you know, even if it's just for 30 minutes or whatever, or an hour or something, I hope that the game works smoothly right off the get-go. Speaking of which, the countdown is now at 1 day, at the time of recording, 1 day, 18 hours, 6 minutes, and 45 seconds there. Isn't that crazy? We're finally here. I do want to tell you guys, I will have one more video tomorrow, and I might give YouTube streaming a test today, potentially, if I have enough time. This video is going to take like an eternity to edit, because it's an hour and a half recording so far. But I will have one more video before the game comes out, hopefully. It's just going to be a short little rambly thing, but I should have something out tomorrow. If I do end up getting to stream today, don't expect much from it. I'll probably just for the test purposes hop into Kingdom Hearts 2 for like 30 to 60 minutes. It might not work at all, but I just figured I'd let you guys know. I may have already done that by the time this releases, but probably not, because I'm probably going to edit this first. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know this was super long, but there's been a lot of news lately. I am so excited for the game. It's such a huge moment for all of us, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in tomorrow's video, but we're almost there, guys. We are almost there. The game looks incredible. The mods look incredible. The team looks incredible. What's not to love? We're finally here. All right, well, and with that all said, thank you guys for watching so much. Your support means the world. If you'd be so inclined, you can like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.